Hello fellow game devs, how are you all doing? Since we finished the painter's algorithm last episode, we can actually implement anything really. We could work on the combat, we could work on the UI, or we could add more levels. There really is no right or wrong choice here. So why not improve the combat in our game? That sounds like fun. Let's go! Just a quick reminder, all of the code I cover in my videos can be found on GitHub. Each episode will have its own branch. There's also a Discord server for this channel. Come in and say hello. If you wish to go the extra mile to support my work, you can do that on my Buy Me a Coffee page or becoming a member here on YouTube. Links can be found in the description below. Before we get started by adding some sort of attack on our skeleton towards our player, we gotta solve one issue from last episode, and that has to do with the position of where the doorway position is, or the doorway point, I think we called it. Let's see. Yes, doorway point. So the position of it is a little bit off. So if I try to go down into this doorway, let's see if I can, like that, I don't teleport. And that is because the position of the doorway point is in the top left corner here, which is not ideal. And when I enter it, let's see if I even can enter it. There we go. I spawn off. So we're gonna have to handle that before going forward, because this is bothering me. And the first change is gonna happen in our help methods, where we create the doorway point. We're just taking the tiles and multiplying it by the size and then adding 1 pixel, which is not great. So we're gonna comment this out and put it in the center. So the same here, but we're adding half the width and half the height, so we get the point in the middle of the tile. And then we return it just like before. And then, of course, we need to go to our map manager and change where we spawn as well. Let's see, change map, here we go. And the change here is gonna be very similar. We're just gonna add half. So we have our position where we spawn, and we add half the hitbox size, because now we want to place the player in the center, not the actual point in the center of the tile. So adding half the size of the hitbox, and that should do the trick. Running up here to our doorway point, and let's see if we can enter it. Yes, spawning in the center, perfect. And let's see if I can exit it. Yeah, that looks much better. If we are to add attacks to our skeleton and any other enemy we might add later, we need to change some code, especially in our playing class. Because in here we have code for our weapon. Let's see, we have the check attack if the player attacks, and if its attack box is inside, you know, whatever he's trying to attack. Then we have a update weapon hitbox by using get width, get height, get weapon position, and maybe even more. Yeah, here we have weapon rotation for draw the weapon, and also all of this code is for handling the weapon, the position, rotation, attacking, animation, and all of that. But since we're now gonna have not only the player use it, but also skeleton and down the road even more enemies, we probably going to move all of this weapon code. Either we add them inside the character class, because the character is extended from our player, but also our skeleton. Luckily for us, all our enemies and the player have all the same amount of sprites, the same type of attacks, and all of that. Everything is standardized, if you want to call it that. And that allows us to use the same code with minimal amount of changes for players and different enemies. So why not go ahead and move all of this weapon code into the character class, or even a interface. You know what? Let's just add it in the character class. I don't think an interface would be the best way to do it, but let's just start somewhere. So we're gonna need the weapon position, weapon height, weapon width, update weapon hitbox. I'm gonna remove it, I'm not gonna comment it out. So into our character, move it in here. We're gonna get a lot of errors. but that's alright. What else? Draw the player. Draw the weapon. Should we have that? We're gonna leave draw the weapon for now, but weapon of just rotation. Yeah, we're gonna take these 3 as well. Weapon adjust top, left, and rotation. Take them away. Place them in here. Go back to playing. Let's start from the top and see if there's something we might be missing. Update weapon hitbox. Probably going to move that one into the character class. We're gonna leave it for now. We're gonna leave the arrows for now. And if there's something else, the check attack we can keep. We might have a check attack and then target, user and target, or attacker and victim, if you will, option. Draw weapon, draw player, camera, player moves, yes, I think set attacking. Yeah, we're gonna move that too. We're gonna leave that for now. Let's just start by going over the errors one by one and make sure that they would work for the player. First, we're gonna make sure it works for the player because it worked with the player before, but also allow the characters to use the same code. So in our playing class, update the weapon hitbox. We might want to keep that in the character, so let's move it and place it in the constructor super, then this, and we're gonna do it in the end. Then in playing, update weapon hitbox, we're gonna comment that out because we're gonna have to update. We do the check for doorway player, then we had update here. We're gonna comment it out for now. We'll add check for this next episode. I think that's already done. We can remove that. And yes. What else do we have errors down here? Draw the weapon. We're gonna draw the weapon for, first we need a canvas, but we also need a character. So character C. We already use C, so let's use character. Then character dot get weapon rotation. Is it private? It is. So, we're gonna use public. And then plus character dot get weapon rotation, but we're gonna add that to a public. We're gonna copy public. We need probably that for public. Get weapon position public. We can change them to private later if they are just in use in here. That looks good. All right. And then of course, character plus weapon are just top. Yes. Weapon rotation, character dot get weapon rotation. Can remove those empty spaces, minimize that. Draw the player, or draw the character. No errors there, but there's an error still here. Where am I blind? Ah, expected here. Draw the player, draw weapon for the drawing, and then player. And player is a character, so we can just pass in player. Then it's going to use the player's values right there. All errors are gone here. Let's just remove this old commented out from who knows when. All others except this one, we're gonna need player.update. Well, we have player update, so we might call. Yeah, we should probably update it inside here, so we can call update weapon hitbox. I think yes, that's the one. That's what it's called. All right, so in our character class now, the attack box is red because it's in playing, I think. Yes, 8 usages. All right, so that is going to create a lot of arrows now in here, a couple, and we're going to move it into the character. And should it be private? Maybe I should have a getter for it. We'll see, we'll see. Let's go back to playing and figure out the errors. Here we have the first error. I actually like these one usage comments. There are some settings you can change probably if you don't want them. You can search it up for yourself. But back to the code. Here we're gonna check the attack. Should we just keep this method and say check player attack and then check enemy attack, because the player is gonna attack the enemies are gonna play. Yeah, can probably do it to use the same method. You know what? Let's keep two different methods. So check player attack. So we're gonna keep this loop, and then we just player dot get attack. Yeah, we need a getter for it. Let's add a getter in character. The very bottom here. Public. What is it? Direct f get attack box return attack box. Yes. And then in playing get attack box. Checking for attack box. The loop. Do we have an active yet? Character is... We have no active. We're going to add active later. But that's alright. For now that works. And down here, draw the weapon, canvas character. Yes, that's why we need that. Character dot get attack box dot left. Let's just copy all of that. Attack box dot left, attack box top. Yes. Attack box left, top. Draw rectangle, get attack box, red paint. And we have one more error. Let's go up here. Check attack, check player. Oops. Check player attack. And this update hitbox, we're gonna keep it for now. We can remove that. These yellow lines are annoying, so just add float because they're complaining about division with float. We don't need that, and we don't need that. Just cleaning up a little bit, and that looks better. Do we have any imports while we add it we don't use? We can remove those two. Alright, that looks better. And in our character, once again, get weapon width. No, but we can say get face direction, because face direction is part of the character already from before. And then we can keep going down. Default, remove player, because now we're going to use it with the characters as well. Weapon height. For all the characters, just make sure that we're going to have to make some sort of if statement or another switch where we also take into account if there's a different weapon. But that's for later. Let's just worry about one thing at a time. Weapon position, remove the player, remove the player. There's a player hitbox. We have a get hitbox. We might as well, do we need to use, you know what, let's keep it. We don't need to use we could change this get hitbox to just hitbox. That's already in entity, but nah, we don't need to do that. Get hitbox, get hitbox, get hitbox, get hitbox, and you there and there. Any more? Nope. Then we have some errors down here. Get face direction. There's a lot of face direction we care about apparently. And that was the last one, I think. So if I just run this, is it going to work with our player? We have no errors. Let's just check quickly if there's any errors that pops up, like we forgot something. But no, it didn't. It started actually. All right. And it's lagging because I'm recording at the same time. But yeah, let's see. And it's lagging again, but oh, that seemed to work. See if I can get him. It seems to work. Left, up, right, and down. Yes. Yeah, I think we're back at where we started. But now we have changed enough to start working on adding it to our skeleton. We're gonna have 3 parts to our skeleton's behavior, if you will. The first one is moving, and it's the one that we currently have, just moving around different directions and so on. And then we're gonna have one where the player is close enough for an attack and the skeleton prepares for it. So prepare is the second part, and the third part is actually attacking. So he detects the player, there's a little bit of delay, then he attacks, and the attack lasts for a short period, and once the attack is over, he goes back to moving. We're gonna check if the attack hit the player at the very first frame when the attack or the weapon is extended from the skeleton. So let's just divide our skeleton update into 3 parts. So first we're gonna add a if moving. We don't have it yet, but we're gonna add it soon. We're gonna update the move and also the animation for the move. Then we're gonna have a if preparing attack. We're gonna do something. And then last we're gonna have if attacking. We are, well, attacking the player. So first we're going to add a few booleans here to make it easier for us. We're gonna add a few booleans, of private moving, private boolean moving. Maybe need to specify what it is. Then we need a preparing to attack, and we're also adding attacking. And I think attacking is something... Where is it? There we go. Attacking and attacking checked. That's the old code for the player's attack. Yeah, let's move them into character actually. We're gonna have them in there, and then we're gonna add some getters for it. So public set attacking. I'm pretty sure, let's double check here. We're gonna have a couple of errors. We have if attacking, attacking checked, attack checked, check it, yes, but we should have some sort of, yes, here we go. Set attacking, boolean attacking, if this, if not attacking, attack checked equals false. So let's just grab that and place it in our characters down here. Set attacking, and then we need public is attacking, public is attack checked, public set attack checked. When do we change attack checked? Let's see here. Attacking, attack checked equals true after attack. And we set attack checked true, or attack checked false, once we do the attack. So if we're not already attacking, we reset it to false. Once the attack is done, it's back to true. Okay. So we can just, where are we? Here we are. We don't need a set attack checked because it's setting somewhere else. All right, then in here, let's go from the top actually. Let's start from the top in here. If player dot is attacking and player dot is attack checked, then we check the attack. Then we can remove that. We're just gonna set it true. Player dot set attacked checked. Okay, but we do need to call it, so we actually do need a getter for it, or a setter for it. Public void set attack checked boolean attack checked. This dot attack checked equals attack checked. All right. Set attacked check true. Draw player if player player dot is attacking. Draw the attack. Get animation index. That's for drawing the attack. Anyone else using it? Shouldn't the skeleton use it as well? You know what? We're gonna remove this and put it in character as well. Should probably already have one here. Or maybe in get animation index, let's just see the difference. So all that's different is this one, if attacking, return 4. Otherwise, return the normal animation index. Alright. That's fair. So player.get animation index. So now we can call skeleton get animation index if the skeleton is attacking. But other than that, we are cool. Alright. Now, where were we? Skeleton. Attacking we can remove because that's going to be part of character. Did I use not private? Protected. And the arrow goes away. Nice. To make our checks here work, we're going to need a few timers. So private long, because we're going to store it in milliseconds. We need a timer to attack. The moment we decide the player is close enough, let's start the timer. And then a timer attack duration when we started the attack. Then of course we need to have some sort of private long durations. So timer and then time to attack. Timer and timer to attack. Let's just change timer to attack to timer before attack, so it's easier to see the difference. Time to attack equals, say, 500 milliseconds, just a number we can play around with. And then timer or time attack duration. Let's say 250. Yeah, that's good. So this is of course in milliseconds. So half a second and a quarter of a second. Then all we need to do in here is do a quick check. So we can have the code in here, or we can make a method. Let's make a method. Check time to attack time to attack timer. Let's create that one. So if timer before attack plus time to attack is less than system.currentTimeList, now is the time to, well, attack. So set attacking true. We also need to prepare attack equals true. And then of course start the timer. Timer attack duration equals system.currentTimeList. And that's all we need to do. So now we have checked the time and we have prepared long enough, so now we need to attack. And we're just gonna say update attack timer. Because we are only handling the timing here and not the actual rendering, etc. that's gonna happen in the playing class. And we make something similar to the one below. So if timer attack duration plus time attack duration. Oh, it's the same here. Timer and time. Timer. We're gonna change this one. Time attack duration. We're gonna say time for attack duration. And that is less than system.currentTimeList. I think that's going to be a little bit easier to spot the difference between them. And if the timer's over, then we say attacking equals false. So instead of saying it there, we're going to say false, because when we say false, if attacking is false, then attack checked is also false. We're resetting it. And attacking is false, reset animation, and then moving again is now moving equals true. Because attack is over, we start moving, and if we are moving, we do that and set, etc. So moving is set to true, so we can restart it all again. So we keep moving around, and somewhere we're gonna have a check to see if a skeleton is close enough for the player to attack. Then we prepare attack, and once the preparation is done, we attack. And once the attack is over, we're back to moving, and so forth. We have a loop. What we can do is add a way to set preparation or prepare attack true. So public void set preparing to attack, and of course, or rather prepare attack, because that's what we're going to do. We don't need a setter for it. We're going to do some more stuff here. Timer before attack equals system.current timerless. Maybe you guys can come up with some better names, but it's gonna work. We're not gonna touch it again, so I don't think that's gonna be too big of an issue. Then of course preparing to attack equals true, and then moving equals false, because we don't want to keep moving. We just want to stay still, attack, done with attack, and then keep moving. We're gonna make our enemies very simple. We also is gonna need a getter for this, because we might want to check, are we attacking or are we preparing to attack? Then maybe we shouldn't try to prepare over and over and over. So public boolean is preparing to attack. Yes. And I think that is all we're going to need. Now we just need to figure out how to prepare the attack, or where to prepare the attack, etc. And that is most likely going to be happening in the playing class. In our playing class, in the update, where we have our skeleton, and then we check if skeleton is active. Let's actually make it a line down here. We update the skeleton, and that's it. But we're gonna add some brackets here. And if the skeleton is active, first we update the skeleton. Then if skeleton is attacking, then we're gonna check if not skeleton is attack checked. We haven't checked the attack, so we started the attack the previous update. Now we're gonna check if the attack has been checked, which it has not been. Then we might as well check it. So check skeleton attack. Let's call enemy attack and pass in skeleton. Create method. Yes. And we are not gonna use skeleton here. We're gonna use character instead. So character, yeah. We can leave it empty for now. We just want to figure out the ifs and don'ts and so on. If we are not attacking, else if. We are not attacking, so let's check if not skeleton dot is preparing for attack. So we are not attacking and we are not preparing to an attack, just moving around. And the reason why we use else if rather than else, that is because we might actually be preparing an attack, and if we're not checking if we're already preparing attack, we're just gonna prepare attack over and over and over and over, which is not ideal. Then we just wanna check if the player is close enough for an attack. So if we don't have this method, so let's go help methods dot is player close for attack. And if the player is close for an attack, then skeleton prepare attack. That's simple. But this method doesn't exist, and what we need to bring in is of course the skeleton, the player. We're not gonna check for objects right now. We might never check for it because it's so close. But we do need the cameras every time we check between two things, because the player is not actually using the camera and the skeleton is, so we're just passing them along. And we can create this method, create the method, and we can just remove return false for now to get rid of the error. And back to playing again. So First is check enemy attack. And I'm actually gonna take this method and move it. Check for doorway, check player attack. Here we go. And in this method, we just need to make sure or check if the attack box overlaps the player's hitbox. So if character, no, but rect dot intersect, so we don't have to use like this, we can just say rectf intersects one with the other, which is skeleton, no, not skeleton, but character dot get attack box, player dot get hitbox. If this is true, then we're just going to use a simple syso for now. Skeleton, or rather enemy hit player. Else syso enemy missed player. And that is pretty much it. And of course we need to say character dot attack set attack checked true. Yeah, that's all we need to do. We're only checking one character or one enemy and with the player hitbox. And and what else? Let's go back up. We checked that, then we're preparing the attack. Is player close for attack? Skeleton, prepare attack, yes. But there is one method, if I can find it. Is player close for an attack? Let's deal with this method now. This method is not going to be very complicated. I think we used it before, but it's called hypotenuse, however you pronounce it. We're just going to make sure that the distance between the player and the character, or enemy in this case, and we should probably not have skeleton here, we should have character. Yeah, that's good enough. We just want to make sure, regardless of how they are aligned to one another, the distance is something, and if it's below that something, it's close for an attack. If it's above, it's not close for an attack. First, we're going to get the float distance in x and y. So float x delta equals character dot get hitbox dot left minus player dot get hitbox dot left. But we also have to take into account the camera, so that's why I added two parentheses, so minus camera x. So now we have the distance in x, and we're gonna do the same for y. So delta y there, character dot get hitbox dot top minus parentheses player dot get hitbox dot top minus camera, not x but y, and not float, it's going to be float. And then we need to calculate the distance. So float distance is equal to math dot hypo, we need x delta y delta, yes. And it's going to give us an error because it returns a double. We don't need that precision. Float is plenty precise enough in our case. And if that distance is shorter than, let's say, 200, we return true. Else we return false. So we can. And if the distance is less than 200, return true, else return false. But this can be improved by just removing that and saying return distance less than 200. So if it's true, it returns true. If it's false, it returns false. And that's all we need to do in this method. Let's take a quick look in our playing UI and check what's going on here. We're just setting true, playing dot set attacking true, playing set attacking false, depending on actions, and that's only for the player. So playing dot get player. Okay, let's just add a getter for the player. I think that's the easiest way to solve this. Public player get player. UI get player dot set the attacking true. We're just gonna copy that. Set attacking false. So our user interface still functions. And let's just run this and see how fucked up it got. It starts. It is, however, nothing is happening. They're not moving. Oh, there was an attack. We got some work to do, but they detected the player. We can see it, but the animations are not there. So let's start by going in our skeleton. Moving equals true. That should take care of them not running around as soon as we start. Yes, let's see if he detects the player. Oh, he did, and he attacked, but nothing happened. And now he's stuck. He detected a player and he attacked. But they are stuck in that animation. Let's try to figure out why. And if we are preparing to attack, which we set true in here, then we check the time. And we're preparing to attack equals true again, which is not right. It should be false. False. And that one is there. And it goes over to attacking. And once the attacking is done, that might have fixed it because we had a boolean that never really changed value. So there was an attack. Oh, do we have a perfect loop? He noticed the player. He attacks, 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 attacks. I go away. He runs away. All we have to do now is to add the attack box drawing. So maybe let's go in our log here. Log cat. Enemy missed the player. I don't know if we... Enemy missed the player, enemy missed the player. I don't think we ever hit anything. We're gonna have to figure that one out too. But yeah, we're getting closer. There's a few things we still need to do in order for our enemies to actually damage or hit the player. Because right now, all we do is miss the player. And the first one is something I completely overlooked. And that is in our character class, we have a method that's called update the weapon hitbox. And we actually only call it once. And this is where this usage comes in handy. If I hover, or do I have to click? Yeah, I have to click. Player, we don't care about, and then character. And that's the only time we call it for the skeleton, which is weird. And we could add it to our update. Let's go to skeleton. We could add it here, but that's kind of pointless or overkill, because we don't really need to use it unless we attack. So in our check enemy attack method right here, all we do is character dot update weapon hitbox. So we update it with a new position right before we check it. But we do need to care about the camera for our player's hitbox, or we could add it to the attack box. It doesn't really matter too much. And we're gonna do the same as we do down here, but instead of the attack box, we're gonna go player hitbox. And player dot get hitbox. I'm gonna do it like this. And I think, and not player hitbox, but player hitbox. So now we have and updated it with the camera values. So it might be minus or it might be plus. We'll see. It goes faster just testing it than trying to wrap your head around multiple negatives back and forth. So one of these should hit the player. Logcat, player hit the player, or enemy hit the player. Looks like it's working. Let's move away from and just have one there. We still have one hitting. You know what? Let's make sure it actually works properly by adding just one skeleton. So where do we add skeletons? Map manager, I think. Yes, here we go. Get skeletons amount, just set 1, run it, test it. And if this works, all we have to care about is drawing the actual weapon. So should hit the player. Logcat, enemy hit the player. What is this? Enemy hit the player, enemy hit the player. Alright. Wait. Then move just to the side here. Enemy missed the player, enemy missed the player. I think it's working. So that's all we had to do. Let's go back to 5. Move it, close it. Close that one. Playing. Check enemy attack. And yeah, that looks good. Now, let's just draw the weapon. And that won't be much of a trouble. Let's just go down here in playing, draw weapon, draw character. We wanna draw weapon, canvas, and don't we have character? Oh. Yeah, let's change that. Canvas always C, character always character. But it's gonna everything is gonna be, you know what, I can't be bothered. Canvas and character. And I think that is all we actually need to do. Because draw weapon is not for the player, it actually uses the character. We changed that at the very start. So let's see if it works. We don't. Yeah, that is not correct. What's going on? Draw weapon. I'm probably not using. Oh, that's true. Draw the weapon is not using camera. Oh boy, but when we draw the weapon for the player, for the weapon, we might not actually draw the same weapon as the player because it's a big sword. But for now, let's just use it. Yeah. So draw character, draw weapon. We're gonna add one here. Draw weapon. Draw enemy weapon, whatever that might be. But in here we do need to take into account the camera X and Y, and we are always plus camera X plus camera Y for the positions. So attack box left plus that's for the player. Here's for the character. Plus camera X. Actually, let's add all the camera X at the same time. Left plus camera X. Left. Is there any more? Nope. And then for top, where are you? There. Y. Left and whoops. That's not right. Top plus camera Y. Top plus camera Y. Weapon rotation back, top plus camera Y. And there's one more, but let's just see if it works first of all. And that's because we don't update it. And it's still not great. Why is that? Because we're still using the same. Oh Jesus! Oh, because I'm still using the same the same method. Character draw enemy weapon. It's been a long day. All right, let's just forget about it. Start it up. Okay, so once they are fully attacked or fully extended, They are doing well, but that one is not correct. Why? Draw enemy weapon. Draw a rectangle. Character.get attack box. Oh, well, there you go. That's because we need to take into account camera there as well. We can just remove it for now or hide it. And then for draw the character, we do simply ask if C is attacking. If we are attacking, then we draw the weapon. Otherwise, we don't draw the weapon. And that should be the last and final piece of the puzzle. Hello guys. Doink doink, doink doink, doink doink, doink doink. And none of them should be hitting the player. But, oops. But as soon, let's minimize this a little bit. You can see here, enemy missed, enemy missed, enemy missed. Let's move into one of them at the top here. Now he should be hitting. Hit the player, hit the player, hit the player. Yep. Hit the player, hit the player. Miss the player, hit the player. Yeah. It's working perfectly. Sorta. But yeah, this looks good. We have some values to play around with, and of course the behavior of the direction they are pointing and all of that, which will come in the next episode. Alright, that was all for today, friends. I hope that you liked the episode. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe button down there. They will help out the channel. For the next episode, we will handle the behavior of the enemies more, making them less stupid in simple terms. I hope to see you there. Take care now and have a wonderful day. Cheers!